Hi,
Dave. Gentlemen. How are you?
Good.
Robbie Bobby John. It's an honor to speak with you, and a right, not a privilege. Let's see. Yes, my favorite edition of my favorite show, Tuesdays. I got some bullet points here, so bear with me. But I wanted to get the advice of you guys on a business model, considering the fact that we're in a depression now, and it just hasn't really hit home yet, you know. And if nothing else, if I can just get the word out to other people, if I'm not able to do it, I think a great endeavor for people and their families and their country, our country as a whole. But what I was thinking of is we can do, my family, we know how to do this, to help out the elderly or the infirm or people who just don't know how to do it, which is to learn how to dig up that useless grass in the yard and plant gardens.
These are the people. Yeah, David, these are the people that have the knowledge. They may not have used it for many years, but their successive generation is the one that doesn't know how to dig up a plot of earth and plant. They go to the grocery stores.
Yeah, you get a Mexican to do it for you.
No, it's interesting you bring this up because there are a lot of people planting. A lot of them are young people in their 20s and 30s, young as 40 at my age.
To us, yeah.
And incidentally, my daughter she lives in Florida, and she has a terrific garden. In fact, it's so terrific that people came to borrow things, and we had to put a fence up. But the point is that everybody should be.
Yeah.
If nothing else, it would be an educational process for people who just don't know how to do it, and go and show them, hey, this is how you do it. Take them through the spring and summer and the fall. And, you know, and that way they would know how to do it, and they could spread the word and do it for their own families. And like I said, you know, there's a lot of, like, say, a elderly widow who couldn't do things like that for herself.
Yeah.
And it would also go into home projects, they need their plumbing looked at or need a shelf put up.
Well, David, there's going to be a lot of cooperation between people now. Back in the Depression, people actually planted gardens in city environments, and they took turns and duties in tending the plots and doing the planting and the harvesting and all stuff. It's called a cooperative, and that is going to come into fashion again. And it's
John, even in the buildings in Philadelphia and Boston and New York, on the roofs they had gardens.
Mm.
I go to a farmer's market every weekend, and I can tell you, I can see a huge increase in the numbers from a year ago. Huge increase.
The thing about it being, too, is because those Federal Reserve notes are probably nothing but toilet paper here pretty soon.
There are two guys at the farmer's market that accept silver.
Folks from 6 to Central called The Flip Side. They both have their websites, respective website. Mr. Noel's website is eaglesup.com. And for Mr. Chapman, theinternationalforecaster.com. Let's go back to the phones here. Oh, by the way, here's an interesting thought. We're going to have zombie banks. Geithner, Bob Chapman, said he was over in Japan back in the 90s. And the mistake they made over there, they just didn't spend enough money on their banking system to right. So this time, if that's any clue as to what he's going to engineer in this country, they're going to spend more than what the Japanese did. And basically what they did, folks, was propped up a lot of banks, and they're known as zombie banks. Zombie automakers, zombie insurance companies. The logo is still attached to something, really not producing anything, and they're sucking up one whole heck of a lot of money. And here's my question, and we've warned people of this before. It's going to be consolidation time. Whatever happened to antitrust? That has gone out the window, especially in light of these special circumstances. Rick in Arizona. Hello, Rick.
Yeah, good afternoon, gentlemen. See, is this show going to be archived or not?
Yeah, it is being archived.
It'll be available later or not?
Well, and for all of you people, I'm glad I got a large listening audience here today. For all of you people that are yelling about the archives, they are all being recorded. What is broken down here and what we're desperately trying to put back together is the computers and the units that actually take that archive it, record it, and then post it, usually within 5-10 minutes. These are all being saved. They will be uploaded. I know it's been about 8 days for you folks out there. Don't panic. We haven't abandoned you.
Okay. Can you make, if you're going to sell the archives, can you make a file like the 16-bit, like 6.5 megabytes to download? Because if you have a dial-up line,
yeah,
it's too big of a file.
I understand that, and people out on the real going to carry an 8-bit. You know, it sounds like hammered. They say in the radio business, hammered crap. But no, I'm even going to make the 8 kilobit feed because some people are in such extreme areas with very little bandwidth that the 16 is even too big.
Yeah, because sometimes I think I should just go back to dial-up, but then, you know, I want to download the archives. It's a 14-megabyte file. It takes too long.
Well, and you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, Rick, because I said that, you know, more and more people, you know, we're having high-speed Internet right now, aren't we? Well, there's going to come a day here where we're going to take a second look at it. Should I be paying $30, $40, $50 a month for high-speed?
Yeah, well, I've had high-speed for a couple of years now. I've seen everything on the Internet. Now I pay the cable company $80 a month. I think I'm just going to, you know, I don't know. Sometimes I think I should just go back to dial-up. So if you had an 8-bit, you know, 6.5 megabyte file, then it would be more, you know, I could do it.
And that's what I'm going to do because I already know the trend here in the marketplace that people are going to be looking to cut corners. They don't want to do without, but they don't want all the high-speed luxury either.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Rick. We're ahead of you on that one. I've already run that through my little brain here, and came up. We'll carry the 32-bit, the 128 and the 32, the 128 service, but for the high-speed people, 32, and for you, and with challenge people, the 16 and the 8 as well. We'll be right back.
Get ready for Real Talk Radio. You're listening to the National Intel Report with your host, John Stadtmiller.
Well, let us go back to the telephones with our guests today, Bob Chapman, Noel, Robin in San Jose, California. Hello.
Hi, this is my first time calling.
Well, hello there.
I usually listen to your archives, and I didn't want to miss the trio today because, like all three of you together, but Robbie, you have a great laugh. I just have to say that. And one of the things you mentioned about, you know, like the farmers markets and canning jars, I started canning again. Yes, canning jars are becoming quite scarce. And one of the things I started doing was canning meat, which isn't as hard as it sounds, but kind of an interesting concept. I've never done that before, so that's what I've started to do. So, and the farmers markets are, yes, very, very, very crowded these days. But I wanted to think that happened this last summer here. I live in San Jose, which is quite metropolitan, and I had a garden, and I've had a garden every year for quite some years. And my girlfriend, who lived like 5 miles away, she had a garden. And what happened this last summer was very interesting, is all our stuff started coming to fruit, and all of a sudden it just going to mush. And all we can figure out is they somehow. And even my lemon tree, they were just dropping off the tree and turning to mush like overnight.
Really?
So I thought that was pretty interesting. You know, that we get sprayed. I can't think of anything else that, you know, might have caused that because we've never had it before.
You know, we've talked about this for a decade. They've been doing this for more than 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that we can surmise from this, that it is a top secret weather modification program. And since it's been classified, and Bob, you would know about this, that once you delegate something highly classified, you dare not utter a word because you face severe consequences if you whistleblow or inadvertently let information slip about an ongoing program. But yeah, I'm surprised you're still upright, ma'am. I'm just glad to hear that your lemons dropped and not you.
But I mean, that's something that can happen again. This is the first time I've actually not had a good garden. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard,
Are they spraying methadone still?
They were supposed to stop spraying for that stupid thing that they were saying, and I guess after Santa Cruz that they were supposed to stop it in San Francisco, but I don't think they did. So, I mean, we're all at risk of losing, produce if they know how to kill our gardens.
Well, they're not going to be satisfied with killing us off economically and starving us. But, yeah, there's that real possibility that they're spraying stuff to kill. Well, I mean, look, we did it in front of God and all his people in Vietnam. We called it Agent Orange. So who knows? They might start spraying that stuff on us. Who knows what these people are capable of, what madness.